To all my friends, has the name Turkmenistan ever crossed your mind? No? Believe it or not, you're not alone. After watching this film, not only will you be able to locate it on a map, but you'll be captivated by its breathtaking scenery, strange laws, and wealth of natural resources. Prepare for an exciting journey to Turkmenistan, a country with more to see and do than you can possibly imagine. Central Asia is a hidden jewel that has a rich history, breathtaking natural scenery, and fascinating stories just waiting to be discovered. Let's go in and learn more shocking information about this unfathomable country. We've discussed the vast swaths of desert that characterize much of Turkmenistan. The Karakum Desert may sound dead at first, but it is anything but. Plants and animals have adapted to extreme conditions, making this area a true survival miracle. It's like a living museum dedicated to the astounding toughness of life. Keep your eyes out for desert monitor lizards and wild camels if you find yourself wandering these sandy plains. This immense wilderness is their permanent residence. However, the desert isn't the region's only natural wonder. Turkmenistan has a lot of natural gas reserves and other buried treasures. You might be familiar with the Darvaza Gas Crater, often known as the door to hell. There's a huge fire pit out in the desert, and it's been going strong since 1971. Fire was first lit to contain the release of toxic gases, but the blaze never subsided. It's now a dangerous and amazing tourist attraction with a weird twist. Now a little history. Turkmenistan's attempt to build its own identity began after it declared independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. Following the fall of the Soviet Union, the years that followed were marked by a renaissance of Turkmen culture and heritage. Turkmen language and art flourished, and new national holidays were instituted to honor Turkmenistan's rich cultural history. Let's not forget about Turkmenistan's diplomatic ties to the rest of the globe. The country is still relatively undiscovered, despite its abundant natural resources and cultural heritage. Tourist visas are difficult to get, and the government keeps a careful eye on visitors from abroad. Those who do make it to this mysterious region, however, typically return home with stories they can't wait to tell, including accounts of stunning scenery and hospitality beyond words. The country has had its fair share of political difficulties. Important worries include violations of human rights and limits on free speech. But despite these challenges, the Turkmen people's spirit remains strong as they go forward into the 21st century. The state is one of the world's least visited countries, despite its intriguing history and beautiful landscapes. Only 8,900 tourists visited the country in 2012. Is that possible? In 2018, that figure had dropped to around 13,000 at most. If you put that number next to the staggering 15 million tourists who visited Vietnam in the same year, you'll see that we're talking about a hidden gem. You may be wondering why there aren't more guests. Well, it's not because there isn't anything interesting to see or do. Rather, it's because obtaining a visa to enter the nation is infamously difficult and expensive. But hold on, there's more to the story of your virtual seclusion. A social media addict may be due for a rude awakening. Turkmenistan has prohibited access to social media and video sharing sites. You might use a virtual private network (VPN) to bypass this restriction, but be wary. The government is starting to target VPN services. Seems like they want to control what comes into and leaves the country, both virtually and physically. Let's change gears now and travel the Silk Roads, the world's oldest and most storied trade routes. You may be familiar with the Silk Road cities of Uzbekistan, but were you aware that Turkmenistan also boasts its fair share of ancient marketplaces? These aren't your typical Silk Road destinations. Instead, they provide something truly special and authentic. These sites, which date back to the 8th to 13th centuries, are like time capsules, preserving in stone the region's prominence as a trading hub. The long-lost city of Merv is a prime example of such a miracle. Think about it. Between the 11th and 12th centuries, Merv was the Silk Road's largest city. Envision vibrant marketplaces where rare spices, priceless diamonds, and colorful textiles all come together to form a tapestry of trade and culture. Are you prepared for yet another mind-blowing discovery? Ashgabat, Turkmenistan's capital, is a stunning metropolis, and it has a Guinness World Record for its impressive size. The greatest number of marble structures can be seen in this glittering metropolis. You can almost feel the heat of the desert sun as you imagine the city's broad, grand boulevards, flowing fountains, towering statues, and buildings that shine like polished ivory. Former President Saparmurat Niyazov deserves credit for this, as it occurred soon after Turkmenistan gained independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. What a spectacular entrance into freedom! But wait, there's more to Turkmenistan than just the capital city of Ashgabat. Literacy and education are given high priority in the country. True or false? Every single kid in this area is required to attend school. Yes, absolutely no exception. The administration has placed a premium on education as a means of combating extremism and promoting social harmony. They're so serious about it that it feels like they want to make sure everyone in Turkmenistan learns the same thing about what the country stands for. So, Turkmenistan is full of surprises. From its capital city that might double as a diamond to its commitment to education, which is nothing short of remarkable. The country is striking out in its own direction, whether in terms of architectural wonders or social projects. The future here is as bright as the marble building's front. Every country has its weird elements. Well, get ready because what we're about to learn is a whopper. Picture a country where it's illegal to have gold teeth. Opera is frowned upon, and people aren't allowed to wear spandex. Doesn't make sense, does it? Well, Turkmenistan is different. It's a country with what we call a unique legal system. The first president of the country, Saparmurat Niyazov, who assumed office in 1991 and remained in power until 2006, was the mastermind behind these peculiar decrees. To put it mildly, Niyazov was an interesting guy. During his reign, he became known for enacting unusual and often narrow legislation. You may be wondering, why the weird rules? Niyazov justified his repressive policies by claiming they were necessary to protect Turkmen culture, but they were widely viewed as part of his effort to consolidate power in the country. The days of the week were renamed after his own relatives, for crying out loud. You'd say that this person is a control freak. Of course, you may be thinking, things must have changed since then. The current president, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedow, a bit of a mouthful, no? Has repealed a few of Niyazov's most outlandish measures. Nonetheless, support for weird laws remains strong. For instance, black cars are no longer welcome, and only white vehicles are authorized. Why? For the simple reason that white is regarded as auspicious in Turkmenistan. You ever stop to consider the origin of your petrol? Natural gas is almost as valuable as gold. You might be astonished to find that Turkmenistan is sitting on a gold mine of it. With a staggering 265 trillion cubic feet of natural gas reserves as of 2016, the country ranks 6th globally. Yeah, you read that correctly. It's a trillion. For a while, Turkmenistan enjoyed the good life, rising to number 15 on the list of the world's largest producers of dry natural gas in 2015. But here's the catch. Things have really become worse in recent years. You have a treasure chest, but no one is interested in purchasing your valuables. This is essentially what transpired in Turkmenistan. Once voracious consumers, China and Russia are now cutting back. Because of this, the economy of the country is experiencing some difficulties. Then why all the fuss? A country that has an abundance of natural resources but is seeing a decline in demand is like a millionaire who has no access to an offshore account. Fears about the economy are quite serious. So that was all the time we had today, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and do hit the bell icon on your way out. See you all next time.